So I'm doing this as a quick walkthrough on the port 3000 for the local host. So across the top of the screen you've got the branding, which could be any brand that you want it to be, and then a series of buttons. These are just really demonstration tools that describe how we can do and interact with the FAST API for the system. Trigger management right here, which is the screen that we're on here, is just the very first tool that we built just to be able to quickly add triggers and delete triggers. It's really not used much. It's just then we have a map upload, which is usually where we start, and we put in a map, whatever name you want, put in a latitude. If you don't have one, you put 0, 0, and then this is kind of as the architect envisioned the campus to be. So the minimum X might be like 0, minimum Y might be 0, and if it's a building with a basement, it might be -12. And then the maximum, if it's like a typical size building, might be 150 feet X by 100 foot Y. And then if it's a 2-story building, might be 36 feet. And then you choose a graphic file and upload that. Once you have the map into the system, you can view it here at View Maps. Or it might look like this, depending upon, this is a broader one. Or it could just be one of our blank maps that are in the system. And then once you have the map in, then you go to the zone management. And this is the canvas view. I like working with the leaflet view. You select like Campus 1, that's the first map that you usually start with. Then you select the campus map, it doesn't have a parent, and then you give it a name and it becomes a zone. Now, Zone Viewer and Editor here, this is the original version of what we would do. And we would just simply select a zone like this, and then it would give us a basic map, and we turn on the leaflet, it shows it as a graphic that you can move around and interact with. And then you can select the additional zones to go on the map. But there were some, GUI problems with this that I wanted to improve upon. So the next version of the software tool is the Zone Viewer Modular. And with this, we have a little bit different interface. We have the zone type, zone and map, and then zone map and vertices as subtabs. So we can go here, we select the same campus like we did before, select the same zone like we did before, but here we get a choice of maps of which one we want to use when we view it, whereas before we were locked into just the campus map. So we can do that. I can go and select all the children, the floor and the wing children, and then look at the zone map. And you can see here that this is enclosed, it's scaled properly, we've got all the rooms. We can change the colors dynamically here, whereas the other map we put in is more like the strong, less like the balanced. It's subtle, I find, is easier to work with. Now this is the canvas view, and with a canvas you're pretty restricted. You can see it, but you can't really interact with it. And we have a little trick on the render with leaflet. It changes the map, and you can see the bigger outline here, which is the campus, and then you can see the actual building, which is properly scaled. We do have a tool to actually handle that I'll show you in a little bit. But with the leaflet turned on, we can actually go in and we can edit the vertices of the map. So for example, in this zone over here, when we're doing the LiDAR, all I have to do is click on it in this map, and it comes up with the coordinates, and I can change the different coordinates and update it. And when it updates directly into the database, so the changes are live. Now, if I go into a corner here, and in our system, the zones, the polygons begin and end at the same point, so there's actually 2 dots here. So when I click on this, it'll say, hey, you're clicking on 299.4, but then you have 299.0, which is also related. So when you make a change here, it's actually going to update both points at the same time. The original system didn't do that. This is kind of like an add that I threw into the system for quick editing. So just remember that 299.0 and the 299.4 there. And now we're going to go over the edit vertices. This is how I was doing it originally. So if I wanted to copy the 2990 to 2994, I'd have to find it in the list over here, like 2990. I have to select it on one side, and then on the other side set it as the destination, or vice versa. Yeah, so you select this side and then use that as the target, and then you would apply the coordinates and bring it over. And that still works, and that's great. One of the other features that's on this page that I'm eventually going to get onto the zone map page is the ability to add additional vertices into the drawing. On this page we can also export all of this as a JSON file or an SVG file, which is useful for the app.allTraq these days. Our next tool that I'm going to show you is the build out tool. And with the build out tool, this is showing you, without anything selected, it's showing you an unfiltered list of all the devices and what campuses that they're on. And so you can see, for the most part, we've got some devices in Boca BL3, and then we've got some devices that are in this zone here, and some devices that are at 6005 campus. So I'm going to go for a building outside, I guess, like 2 maybe. And we'll see if it's in Boca. Nope, that's not it. Let's see, we'll do a BL3 maybe for Boca. Well, there's some there, but I would rather show you on a real map. So let's do a campus map, and we'll do 6005. Okay, there we go. So there's a building. There's the devices that are there, and you can interact with the devices. You can see what's there down below, and these are easy. You just copy and then click and click and drag like this, and then copy it into a spreadsheet, and you've got the location of all the devices. And then you see the different types. So type 18, type 1, type 901. You can tell what type of devices are by going to the device type. So 18 is a cable drop, and then type 1 is a tag, and then type 6 is a receiver. So let me show you how we would do this. So if we were going to go and we were going to add a device on here, let's turn on leaflet mode, and then we're going to do estimating. So like we're going to kind of plan out like what we're going to do. So I would just call this like 77701 as a starting number, and that's its name. And I'd say, let's make that a cable drop. And then all I do is I select like where I'm going to put it. Like suppose it's like here on the corner. We get an X, we get a location, I hit add. And now that's there. When I take it out of estimating mode and I click on it, it populates it with the information about what it is and its location. Now when we go and we're going to do the installation, and we're going to fine tune it with the LiDAR, I click on deploy, I select the dot that I'm going to be actually deploying the cable from, I click on it, it says, oh, okay, that's 7701, which is just a random number for cable. But now it's going to become a receiver, like 99099, say, and then we'll call this like outdoor NRU1 or something like that. Now I change it from a receiver or from a cable drop to a receiver, and I fine tune with the LiDAR its location, and like that, and say it's like 8.5 feet C, because we do X, Y, and Z in this system. And I hit update, and now it's updated in the system. So down below where it was 7707, whatever it was, now it's correctly updated, correctly defined, correct receiver, correct everything. And this data is now available for use in the GeoTracker as well as anything else in the system. And of course, if we're not going to use it, all we got to do is click delete. Boom, it's gone. Just like that. It's gone from the system, gone everywhere, and that's it. And there's just one little small part that I want to show you from here. If for some reason you wind up with a map that's not scaled properly, or you wind up with a map that doesn't have a zone drawn on it. So for example, we were looking at like BL3 for bokeh, and there was nothing there. If we wanted to find the map, we could just click, or where the zone is, we just click render the zone, and then it will just draw the zone from that point, and we could work within that zone. This is still kind of a work in process, but this shows you how with the Fast API and this tool you can bring it in and use it as part of a larger application. Alright, so I want to show you the map crop tool. So we'll select a map that I know is out of scale. And we're going to move into, just check these two boxes to go into scale it out. Let's try zone NTS. We'll click the first location down here roughly. And then we'll click the next location up here. We'll enter in 0, 0, 0, 37 by 105 feet. Click create crop. There it is. Click view map, and there's try 1 NTS. We view it, and now we see that it's scaled properly from there to there. And we can go and quickly undershade and create a great zone map with it. Call this campus. We can select the map. There it shows up. It's properly scaled, even though it doesn't look like it in canvas. But if we put it into the leaflet mode, we can see that it is properly scaled. And then we can just go and create a zone for it, and everything would be good with its location. I'll just do that right now. So we'll go try zone NTS, and then we create the zone for it. We can always go and edit this later. Finish it up. Save the zone. There we are. And to prove that we're getting the right measurements, we can go here. Get the zone type campus 1. We'll select that one. We'll use leaflet. Throw it into estimating mode. We'll give a starting ID of like something weird that we would never find in what we do. And then we'll call it a cable drop, and we'll click like roughly up here on the map, and then we'll see 32 by 98. We knew that the upper right hand corner is 37 by 105, so where we are is approximately correct, and then we could add it and we're done. So, you know, proof positive that we have a map calibration tool, which is absolutely something new that hasn't been done before.